There's been lots of talk after the game, as you can imagine. But have you seen or heard any of the criticism about your own performance? And if you have, what have you made of it?
Yeah, I mean, I try and stay off it as much as possible. I think it's almost impossible not to see some stuff nowadays with all the different platforms. But yeah, I think me as a player, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I know when major tournament football's on, it's going to be even heightened, and you know, every performance is going to be scrutinised. And yeah, if I'm honest with myself, have I played the best that I know I can? No, but you know, I didn't score in the group stage in the World Cup. I didn't score in the group stage in the Euros. So from my point of view, it's a bonus to be one goal ahead. But yeah, you know, I'd always judge myself first, and of course I know I can play better, as I know, you know, a lot of the players think the same in the team, that we can all play a little bit better. And yeah, and that's what I do. You know, I don't panic. I don't get, like, you know, too high or too low. I'll keep doing what I do, and yeah, just go on to the next one.
And after the Denmark match, Gareth Southgate said that the team aren't able to press how they'd like because of the physical condition. What's that like for you to deal with? Is it frustrating? Are you feeling a big difference when you're out there?
No, I just think I think both games playing against the back three just maybe caused us a little bit of confusion on the pitch. You know, we prepared for the game, but then yeah, I just think there was certain things where we couldn't quite get the pressure that we wanted, and we weren't 100% sure on of when to go, and it's hard. And when you're playing against good teams, sometimes when the momentum goes against you, you struggle to kind of get it back. And then I don't think we was great with the ball, which then led to, you know, feeling like you're just running and constantly running. And then so it was tough to kind of turn that momentum around. So yeah, I think in the next game it'll maybe pose a different threat because of the formation. It's more likely going to be different from Slovenia. So yeah, hopefully we can show a bit more energy and a bit more yeah, enthusiasm, especially without the ball, and I think that will help us with the ball as well.
There've been a couple of reports around that you called a player summit on Friday morning after the game. Can you confirm if that's the case, and what was the purpose of it? No,
that didn't happen, so I'm not sure where that's come from. I think, again, probably just, you know, people trying to maybe create something out of nothing really. The day after the game was, yeah, just a small debrief that we always do from the manager, and then it was just a family day. We had 7 hours with the family, which I'm not sure all the lads were quite happy about. After a few hours, it was it was pretty hectic, to be fair. So we might cut that down in the future. But no, that's what it was, and I think it was an important day just to kind of switch the minds off. You know, we've done well in the tournament so far, 4 points after 2 games, but yeah, in this sort of environment, you need a chance just to switch off, and that's what that day was for.
Just finally, what's the message to the fans, particularly the ones out here in Germany? There were boos after that Denmark performance. Are you urging them to be patient, calm? What's your message to them?
Yeah, I think calm is the most important one. You know, a lot of us have been here and done that, and we've given England fans, you know, some fantastic times. And you know, I know 99% of the fans are, you know, fully behind us and fully with us. But as always, you know, during the tournament, just to support us, as they always do, and I know they will. And then after the tournament, you can judge us. You know, I always say, when it's finished, there'll be people judging us. You know, we've had some good tournaments. We've had some tournaments where, you know, we've just fallen short. But yeah, during it, you know, it's down to us as players, as coaching staff, as the whole environment to get it right and find where we can improve. And of course, people will have their opinions, and that's no problem. But ultimately, it's going to be us who makes the decisions and to try and find the solution.
You've been to major tournaments before. Maybe the difference this time is that you have massive expectations on you that probably you guys didn't have in the previous tournaments. How do you see expectations and the way people expect you to play and to perform?
Yeah, I think that's part and parcel of, you know, what we created as a squad, to be honest. You know, the bottom line is we're trying to achieve something as an England team that we've never achieved in our history. So it's very tough, and that is European football. That's playing in these championships is difficult. So yeah, we've come close, and we've been the closest in recent history. So we know how to get it done, but we also know there's a lot of hard work along the way. You're playing against a lot of good teams, and it's going to be difficult, and there's times where you're going to have to grind, you're going to have to defend. Like, we've defended really well in the 2 games. I know a lot of people have been talking about what we haven't done well, but what we have done well is, defend the box well, block crosses, block shots, and that's an important part of winning games as well. So we're going to need all of it, of course, to improve the parts I spoke about. But if we can do that, then yeah, step by step, I think we have a good chance.
You mentioned earlier that you can sometimes play higher and sometimes come deeper. In the first game in particular, especially in the first half, it seemed like you were playing higher. Was that a particular tactical instruction or something you just kind of saw in the game?
Yeah, that's probably just what I saw in the game. I think, especially in that first half of that Serbia game, Jude, especially Phil, were kind of getting into those number 10 areas and causing them quite a lot of problems, especially the first half hour of that game. So I felt like, because they wanted to defend man for man, if I could stretch them a little bit higher and stay a little bit higher, that space will be bigger for them. But as always, with me personally, I've had it for sure over the last 4 or 5 years. If I stay too high and I don't touch the ball, I should drop deep and be involved. And if I drop deep and get involved, I should be in the box to score. So that's part and parcel of being who I am and being a number 9 who likes to do both roles. But overall, each game, we talk about it as a team, and that's how the manager wants to play. And then also, it comes down to your instincts on the pitch as well.
And finally, I don't know if you heard his podcast, but Gary Lineker had a word to describe England's performance in his podcast. Do you think it's helpful for somebody like him to describe it as shit on the eve of such a big game, particularly when you're top of the group with 4 points? And do you think maybe you should stick to flogging crisps?
No, look, I think it's always, I'd never want to be disrespectful to any player, especially a player who's worn the shirt and knows what it's like to play for England. But of course, I think what maybe ex-players or ex-players who are pundits now have got to realise is that it's very hard not to listen to it now, especially for some players who are not used to it or some players who are new to the environment. So, I always feel like they have a responsibility. I know they've got to be honest and give their opinion, but also they have a responsibility of being an ex-player, an ex-England player that a lot of players looked up to, that people do care about what they say and people do listen to them. So, like I touched on, everyone's got their opinion, but the bottom line is we haven't won nothing as a nation for a long, long time. And, a lot of these players were part of that as well, and they know how tough it is. So it's not digging anyone out, but it's just the reality that, they do know that it's tough to play in these major tournaments and tough to play for England. But yeah, look, I'd never disrespect any ex-player. All I'd say is just, remember what it was like to wear the shirt, and that their words are listened to. And some of the lads, or I don't know how many of the lads, but you do hear it, and we all want to win a major tournament. I'm sure they want us to win a major tournament, and being as helpful as they can and building the lads up with confidence would be a much better way of going about it.